So with Vegas, it kind of sucks to see what happens with Robin Lehner here. I mean, you pressure the guy to play, and he ends up going into a scenario where he makes it even worse, his injury, and now he's going to be out for the whole upcoming season. So you're looking at Logan Thompson being potentially your guy. Will Brossoit be healthy enough or take that spot at number 2, or you just signed Michael Hutchinson? So that it makes me think, them bringing in Michael Hutchinson, do they already know the situation with Lehner? I mean, the rumors were, and I actually had a couple conversations with people towards the end of the season, that they didn't think Lehner was going to play for a while. So this was like out there. This wasn't just like Vegas got completely shocked. There was some sense that Lehner might not play or Lehner might not be healthy. And now it's obviously announced that Lehner's just going to be shut down for the whole season. So was that known before the Pacioretty trade happened? I mean, did Vegas, I guess, was the league on about it, or did Vegas feel like they didn't want 2 guys on LTIR? I think the difference is Lehner's out for the year, so they can use the LTIR for the whole year and don't have to worry about him coming off, versus like looking at Pacioretty, he's likely back in March, so they would have had to lift him off LTIR, and then maybe it becomes a cap problem. So Vegas could still go after a bunch of guys, whether it's a Phil Kessel or I don't know if someone else will sign him or have, I'm sure other people have interest in Kessel. I know there's been the Oilers rumors, but Evan Rodriguez, Sonny Milano, there's a bunch of guys afraid to see that Vegas could still go after. It is interesting, though. There's goalie options out there also. I mean, talking about Varlamov, 1 year left. Is Lou Lamoriello stubborn still, or would Varlamov be potentially in a trade? There's been the John Gibson to Vegas conversations. Could that be a big move coming up? I mean, I could see it maybe. John Gibson, I've been seeing people tweet out that John Gibson could be a Vegas move coming up. And as we're watching this American game right now, like John Gibson, American goalie in a Vegas market, like that would be nuts. I know some people have thrown out Carey Price to Vegas. Like, I just think with Carey Price and things he's dealt with, like, Vegas is the last team that has player loyalty right now, at least around their team. I mean, a lot of players are looking at Vegas, and it's been a conversation from analysts, insiders, that Vegas is like, look what they've done to some of their players. I mean, they tossed Fleury away for like nothing. They've tossed Pacioretty away for like nothing. Alex Tuck it seemed like going to be a big part of their organization, and they moved him to get Jack Eichel, and I think that's less of an issue there because they did at least on paper get better, but I think there's a lot of conversations about Vegas and goaltending. Would Vegas and San Jose ever make a deal? I mean, San Jose's got 3 goalies that maybe Vegas can target one of them. But there's a few other options out there. But I do think Vegas should make a couple moves. I mean, especially with the LTIR space. I like Logan Thompson, but I just think if you're a team that's really serious about playoffs, how can you seriously go into the season and be like, oh, we got Logan Thompson and Brossoit. So John Gibson, I like this Richard Clay hot take. Richard Clay says, big hot take, John Gibson to Vegas for a package that includes their first-round pick, Daniil Chayka, Brossoit, Patrick plus maybe. I don't know if that's potentially enough. I would say Anaheim would probably be hesitant as it is, Richard, to trade in division. But Varley to Vegas does make a lot of sense, Logan, and I agree. I think Varlamov to Vegas would make sense either through a trade or Vegas to target Varlamov in free agency next offseason. But again, the Islanders, is Lou Lamoriello too stubborn? I mean, Varlamov, a trade, that would benefit both teams. Vegas gets a goalie, and Islanders clear up some cap space. Then you can have a Varlamov and Logan Thompson tandem. Maybe even send Brossoit the other way to the Islanders, and Islanders are still saving cap in that sense. So, and they could probably get an asset in that trade from Vegas. So it's interesting. There's so many different circumstances here with the Vegas Golden Knights. If I was them, I would look into targeting a better goalie, and you could probably send Brossoit the other way in that deal, so whether it's with San Jose or Anaheim, but a tougher deal probably because in division, or you could look at a team like the Islanders, and maybe it's a conversation. I would also say, like, there's other teams out there that are, like, maybe weaker teams. Like, for example, could you look at Arizona and attach a pick or something, and look at giving Brossoit to them and then going for a goalie on a different move? I think there's a couple of directions where, like, even like a Seattle, could Vegas be like, hey, Seattle, like we'll give a shot to Drieger here because we know Drieger's he's shown success in the past. You take Brossoit, we'll give you a pick or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm sure there's other like ideas out there for Vegas to go after a guy, take a chance with a guy. But if they're confident in Brossoit that he's going to bounce back and he looks healthy in training camp, maybe they do just go with Logan Thompson and Brossoit. Trust in the top 6 forward group that they have right now. Like, they're still really good in that top 6 if healthy. And their bottom 6, I'm sure they'll fill holes. Like Nick Waugh still there, Carrier still there. They still have a decent amount of guys in that bottom 6 where it's like they'll probably have fillers on that 4th line in some points of the year. But their top 9 is still solid enough that if they have a goaltender, they have a solid defense. Vegas is a really good defense in my opinion. They will be in the playoffs if they have a goalie that's playing really well. If they have an above average goalie, like 9-10 save percentage plus, they should be in the playoffs or sniffing playoffs for sure.